Thank you. Thank you. Gotcha. Okay, let's start with plotting some points to see what an absolute value equation looks like. Okay. When x equals 0, what does y equal? 0. Everybody understand that? I need your iPads away, please. When x equals 0, TJ, that means you. Thank you. When x equals 1, what does y equal? What's the absolute value of 1? 1. So when x equals 1, what does y equal? 1. When x equals 2, what does y equal? 2. Does everybody understand how I plotted these points, where they came from? What happens when x equals -1? What does y equal? What's the absolute value of -1? +1. So when x equals -1, y equals +1. When x equals -2, what does y equal? +2. So if you look at our graph, it actually looks like a V. In fact, it is a V. All absolute value equations are V's. You can remember absolute value is V. V for value. Absolute value is a V. What does it look like? V. Everybody, what does it look like? A V. V. Mark, what's it look like? A V. Allie, what's it look like? V. All absolute value equations look like what, Gian? V. There you go. All absolute value equations look like a V. They're so easy. Okay? Now, look what happens. If I say absolute value, y is equal to the absolute value of x plus 2. That's going to take every single point on this absolute value equation, and it's going to move it up 2. So instead of 0, 0, we're going to be right here at 0, 2. Move every single point up 2 units. Am I boring you?
No, it's just because it's cold.
You are welcome to move over there against the window. It's not that cold, huh? Well, then stop complaining, because I just gave you an option. There's our graph. Okay, it moved the whole thing up 2. Okay, sketch on your own notepad or notebook y equals the absolute value of x minus 3. Sketch this in your notebook. Y equals absolute value of x minus 3. TJ, if you're going to stretch your foot out, do it down here so someone's not sitting there getting dirty glasses because you're dirty feet. Absolute value of x minus 3. Okay. So here's the absolute value of x right here. So if I want to go minus 3, what am I going to do? Move it down 3. So instead of, this is called the vertex. Instead of the vertex being at 0, 0, the vertex will now be at 0, 3. Or -3. -3. Okay. We put arrows on both ends because it does continue forever. Okay. Questions about that?
No.
These are easy, right? Okay. All right, so we know that if we add something afterwards, it's going to move it up or down. What do you think happens if we add something inside? Like that. Right or left. Now, what do you think is going to happen with the +2?
Right.
Yeah, it seems like it should be right. This is the only thing that's weird. It goes the opposite. When it's inside, it goes the opposite of what you would expect. So here's just the absolute value of x. We're going to move it 2 units to the left. 2 to the left. Okay? Now, I'm just asking you to sketch the graphs. We're not being really, really tricky here, and I'm not being real particular. However, when you graph them, if you notice back here when I did the first one, these lines have a slope of 1. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, right? And these lines on the left, they have a slope of -1. So when you do this, I want you to make sure that you keep that slope like that, okay? We're not going to do the problems where the slope is going to change. So I want you to be as accurate as possible. So graph for me y equals the absolute value of x minus 3 inside the brackets. Okay, Mark, what do you think happens? You were not even paying attention. Don't say you're shaky because you were not. That's why I called on you. Jackson, what do you think happens? Moves to the right 3. Yes, moves to the right 3.
Why not left?
Because it goes the opposite of what's inside there. When it's inside, it goes to the opposite and it goes left and right. When it's outside, it goes up and down based on what the actual number is. Okay? One more. Y equals the absolute value of x plus 5.
So now it's -5.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we're going to move it 5 to the left. It's the opposite, so we go like that. Okay. Okay, we're going to get a little trickier. You ready? Are we ready?
Yes.
Is everybody ready? Okay, y equals absolute value of x minus 3 plus 2. Okay, so we move which direction? To the right 3 and up 2. There you go. So there's my graph. Notice it's still shaped like a V. That's it.
So we just having a test on this Wednesday?
We have a quiz on this on Wednesday.
We take it.
Questions, anyone?
Can we take it tomorrow?
We got it.
Okay, there's a worksheet in Google Classroom, I think. Hold on a minute, make sure